car, more transparency. Joy Taylor, Herdline News in a few minutes. 40 minutes from now, Colin right, Colin wrong. Steven Jackson, 14 years in the NBA, always has interesting opinions. He'll bring his energy and passion. Talk about the second half of the season. 30 games left now or less for everybody. This is when the NBA gets really, really interesting. Teams, you're stuck with the team you have. You're stuck with your coach, mostly stuck with your guys. It gets fun. So, the allergy season, the flu season, the holiday season, Hollywood has the award season. In the NFL for the next 8 weeks or so, February, early April, late March, late February is what I call leak season. NFL teams keep the information that's vital to themselves. They don't tell anybody. That's why Baker Mayfield gets drafted by Cleveland #1. We find out a day before, and it shocks everybody. That didn't come out. We heard Cleveland like Sam Darnold. There's a veteran reporter in Miami. He's not some slappy. I'm sure he's good. But let me just add context to the story today that the Miami Dolphins' current view of Tua and Justin Herbert of Oregon might surprise you, blares the headline. The team, Miami, has an increasingly positive view of Justin Herbert at Oregon. Well, that's because everybody has a pretty positive of Justin Herbert. He's 6'5", 230, big arm, mobile, looks a little bit like Trevor Lawrence, had no wide receivers to throw to the last couple of years, suffered one injury of note. He's going to be a really nice NFL quarterback. Big, mobile, strong moves, big arms, smart kid, biology major, well-liked, and led Oregon, which doesn't have Ohio State, Clemson, LSU, Auburn talent, to a bunch of wins. He's really, really good. And if Miami likes him, that's fine. But you know what this story feels like? The Miami Dolphins making sure that if somebody else gets Tua, that it doesn't feel like a disaster. That's what teams do. That's what this is. That's not a knock on the reporter. What this basically is managing expectations, because everybody likes Tua. His accuracy is absurd. Justin Herbert's accuracy is the knock on him. It's hit and miss. But NFL teams now, the Dolphins fan base is distracted to begin with. The beach, the weather, the lifestyle. So if they miss on Tua, it gives Miami fans another reason to tune out their football team. Miami's not a great sports town. Like Vegas, it is a great event town. I think Vegas is actually a better sports town than Miami. They like their fights. They like their big stars. They like their big events. But these are fans that poured out of an NBA final with LeBron when they trailed in the fourth quarter at home, tried to come back in, and the door was locked. This is just a way to manage expectations. If they miss on Tua, listen, we're going to have, in my opinion, here's my mortal lock of the draft. 3 quarterbacks taken with the top 6 picks. Cincy's taken one. Miami's taken one at 5. The Chargers are taking one at 6. And I wouldn't be shocked if Carolina doesn't tank to get one next year or doesn't move up to get one this year. Here's Joy Taylor with the news.
No. Turn on the news. This is the Herdline News.
It's a very fun Saturday night at All-Star Weekends in Chicago. Bam Adebayo won the skills competition.
Yes.
Buddy Hield won the three-point competition. Now, the dunk contest had a little bit of controversy. It was between Aaron Gordon and Derick Jones Jr. In the second tiebreaker, Jones only scored 48 on his dunk from the free throw line. His foot went a little over the free throw line. That left the door open for Gordon, and he jumped over 7'5" Taco Fall. Now, he did hit Taco in the back of the neck with his leg.
Taco's 8 feet tall. That's
He's
okay.
7'5". Okay, yes. So he did still jump over Taco Fall, but he only got 47 points after scoring 50 on all 5 of his other dunks. So Derick Jones Jr. got the win. We have the final 2 dunks here we're showing right now.
Yeah.
It was a really fun dunk contest. Throughout, the whole contest was fun. I thought everybody did a really great job. Look, the reality is this. It's very controversial. A lot of people feel like Aaron Gordon. I thought that they were going to give it to Aaron Gordon, as great as Derick Jones Jr. was throughout the whole contest. Later on, Candace Parker and Common said that they were planning on ending it in a tie, but one of the judges messed up. They need to do 0.5. Like, they need to be able to have a little bit of stretch on the... I mean, because how can you judge these dunks? They're incredible. Like, how can you give any of them less than 10?
I'm not going to jump in on any NBA exhibition dunk contest controversy because I don't care, but I do think what it really shows, if you go back and look 20 years ago, that we were going gaga over dunks now, that would be 5s.
Right.
The athleticism, anytime I hear this, That team in the 70s would crush a team today. The athleticism of dunks today
are absurd. I mean, because he jumped over 2 people, went through his legs.
We had Michael Jordan doing stuff. People are like, whoa. It's high schoolers do it now. These guys are doing stuff. We literally need props because these guys have figured out every possible way to do. I saw a high school kid last week, a skinny high school kid, do a dunk that I saw at the dunk contest. It would have won the dunk contest in Jordan's era. My takeaway in this dunk contest is these guys, the human body is just getting leaner, stronger, and more amazing every decade.
It was really fun. I will say, though, fans were really into this dunk contest and had a lot of opinions about it. But I was there. I'm glad Derick Jones Jr. won. I understand it was controversy, but somebody has to lose. And, you know, Heat Nation, baby. It is what it is. So John Beilein is only halfway through his first season as the Cavs head coach, but it may already be coming to an end. He and the Cavs are reportedly discussing the possibility of him stepping down during the All-Star break. No final decision has been made, but he is expected to meet with GM Kobe Altman at some point today. He signed a 5-year deal with the Cavs last May, and they are 14-40. Last in the East.
Well, college basketball is a coach's sport. The NBA is mostly a players' league, so that's why college basketball coaches have generally struggled in this sport. Jerry Tarkanian struggled. Lon Kruger didn't, he's a very good coach. This is just...
I can't say that I'm terribly surprised that this is the outcome.
Can Cleveland do anything right if LeBron's not in that city?
No,
Seriously.
And then this situation, I feel like after the Thugs comment, it wasn't going to improve the situation there. And when this hiring happened, I think we were all kind of like,
you can lose the game, but not the locker room. He lost.
And then he lost the locker room, and that's pretty clear. So we'll keep an eye on what happens there, but it's looking like he's probably going to be out as the head coach.
Yeah.
Finally, Phillip Rivers is on the market for a new team. Former teammate Melvin Gordon says they haven't spoken about Rivers' next stop, but he has an idea about where he will end up. He said, I think he'll go to the Colts. I don't know. That's just my thought. He has Nick there, the offensive coordinator. He came from here. They run the same playbook, so it'd be easy for him to come right in. He can be telling guys what to do. It would be an easy plug-in. I think that's probably the best fit.
If Phillip Rivers is willing to take a very Colts-friendly deal, this makes sense. Because I can say I have it sourced through various sources. The Colts are going to go get a quarterback either this year or next year. That's what they're going to do. They like Jacoby Brissett. They don't believe they have the margin for error with Jacoby that they would in the AFC with Kansas City, Mahomes, Lamar Jackson. That's who you're competing against now. You got to have somebody special there. We're seeing quarterbacks get better and more special every year. If Phillip Rivers came in and said, I'll do a 2-year deal, totally Colts friendly, $18 million, I think they would do it and feel it's a slight upgrade. But if Phillip wants to get rich, and he's already made $100 million or more, he's not getting this. This all comes down to what is Phillip Rivers willing to take? If he's like, it's egoless, I love the game, I do think they could win a division with Phillip Rivers, but he better make it. He better understand if the Colts don't get a break, then they're not. This is all about what he's willing to take.
I don't see how Phillip Rivers isn't going to do an egoless deal. What is the market for Phillip Rivers right now?
That $17 million a year.
Right. So I mean, the money thing cannot be a motivation. He's not in Tom Brady's position. Who, for that matter, I don't know what the market is for Tom Brady when it comes to those numbers either. So at this point, with the amount of quarterbacks that are coming in this year, and then we know what's coming up next year, the demanding of a high contract is not even a reasonable plan.
If Phillip Rivers just said, "Listen, man, I've made a ton. I'll play for $15 million." He becomes very attractive.
It's still $15 million. I mean, we're throwing numbers out there like whatever, but it's still $15 million in your 17th year in the NFL.
Yeah, as long as you understand.
When you've just been let go by the team where you spent your entire career.
Right. If you understand your value, there's a job for Phillip Rivers for about one more year. It's a good old line.
I don't hate that fit for him, though, or for the Colts.
No, it's not a bad fit. It's actually a good fit for Brady and Phillip Rivers. Old and athletic guys. It's a great old line. Joy with the news.
Well, that's the news.